Today I wanted to talk to you guys about the update 39 that's upcoming and about the new stuff that we're going to be seeing in that update. You know, these past few days I've been feeling kind of winded, so I've been on a little bit of a grind of collecting these melons that I'm missing. So we're going to be playing Quarry on medium mode, but that's the gameplay part. I think the most important thing, the most interesting thing actually for this video is going to be just the talking part, where I want to talk about two main things. Well, first off, let's just talk about when let me just place it. We just place this thing up here. Let me just upgrade it to. I think we're gonna do something like a maybe switch it up. Maybe buy something like a bottom pad sniper or something like that. First off, when is the update coming? Well, the update is coming very soon. That's the only answer that I can give for now, and hopefully we can get early access to show you guys the features. We can take a look at the new stuff together, and maybe, you know, create a map. Maybe we check out the new hero that's coming out, or at least supposedly, because they haven't said anything about it. So we're gonna see what happens with that thing. But I wanted to talk about two main things. Number one is the brand new Paragon system. In the next update, the Paragons are getting reworked from the ground up, and the cause for the rework are two things. Number one is they found a bug actually that apparently it affected all Paragons, but the bug had something to do with boss damage. So all of these Paragons, I guess they were doing a lot more boss damage than they should have been done. So when they fixed the bug, all of the boss damage went down, and that's one of the reasons for the rework. The second reason is because they wanted to make Paragons more accessible to newer players, and these are players who basically cannot, you know, farm up that well for a super high degree Paragon. So they thought that by adjusting the prices and by changing the formula, they're looking to address this basically. So just to get everyone up to speed, because I want to get a little bit technical on this and how this is going to work in explaining it, or at least if I'm understanding correctly. So just to get everyone up to speed, this is the Paragon degree is determined by 4 different components. Number one is tier 5 towers placed, it's cash contributed, it's upgrades on sacrificial towers, and then pops on sacrificial towers, which amounts to 200,000 in total. Now, in the new system, the bonus from tier 5 towers, well, let me just place Benji. I think I'm just going to have Ben. I'm kind of late on this. I'm buying it around 13, but that's going to be fine. So, in this new system, the bonus from the tier 5 towers will go down from 90 to 50k, and the cash contribution will go up from 10,000 power or points to 60,000 out of the 200,000 maximum. That is if they keep the 200k maximum, because there are a lot of questions remaining. So let's just work with the data that they've given us so far. So what this means is that the cash is now going to play a much bigger role into Paragon degrees and Paragon creation in general. Now, in addition to this, a new formula has been created about Paragon degrees in general. And I hope I'm understanding this correctly, but let me give you guys a rundown of the previous one and then how the new one is going to work. So the previous one was amount spent divided by 25 equals power contribution. So to give you guys an example, the maximum amount of power that you can get from basically cash spent on Paragons was 10,000. So that means that 250k, basically 250,000 divided by 25 equals 10,000. So if we were to spend $250,000, that would give the maximum amount of power. Now the new formula is a little bit different, and it is amount spent divided by Paragon cost divided by 20,000. And now this makes things more interesting, because if we, let me just give you guys a practical example, because, you know, just talking like this with the formulas and everything, it's a little bit confusing. So let's just talk about actual examples. Let's say we want to spend $250,000, but the Paragon only costs 150k. Now this number of 150k, by the way, I think that's the new price for the Dark Paragon. So let's just say we want to spend 250k in the creation of our Dark Paragon. So how much power is that going to be? Well, if we do the formula, that amounts to 33,000 power. Or that's going to be actually 450,000 for the maximum contribution. But basically, $250,000 will buy you 33,000 power for the Dark Paragon, which costs 150k. Now the thing is, if we spend the same amount of money, $250,000, Bloons, let me just do this, yeah, like that. Let's have the Alcon strong. This is going to be a 4-0 eventually. And yeah, just like that should be fine. So if we spend the same amount of money, which is $250,000, but the Paragon cost is 900,000, which is how much the Ace Paragon costs currently, that would only amount to, and check this out, 5,500 power. So if I'm understanding this correctly, this basically means that the more expensive Paragons will require a much higher cash contribution in order to get a higher degree. And that is where things get interesting, because some of these Paragons, these prices are going to be super low, and that means that we're going to be seeing like easily degrees 50, 60, maybe even 70, 80 on these. You know what, maybe even these higher degrees, like like, I don't know, maybe you get some Geraldo and something like that and only a couple of totems and you're going to be able to get degree 100. But then on these super expensive Paragons, you're going to need a huge investment. And I actually did the maths. If they keep the Ace Paragon price the same, that means that in order for you to get the maximum cash bonus, it's gonna cost you $2.7 million, which is that's just insane. And also, a couple of parts from this Paragon formula is unclear because I don't know what's gonna be happening to the pops and upgrades and how much those guys are gonna contribute. So we're gonna have to wait for the update to drop for that one. But this is looking like a pretty interesting change in general with the Paragons. Alright, so I'm gonna get this Jungle Drums village, and you know what? This sniper, I mean, it can see the entirety of the map, but it's like a bottom pad sniper. So I think we should probably do something about maybe we do something about mobs, or do we keep it like this? I think we just buy the elite defender. Yeah, let's try and get the elite defender, then if we need to intervene, we're going to do something. But let's talk about the second thing that I wanted to mention, and that is the map editor. Now, I'm really excited about the map editor, not just because it's going to be a cool feature, but I feel like the map editor is really a step in the right direction for BT6, because if you take a look at all of these other games, what they've done is they've created this environment in which they allow the players to create the content, whether it's like maybe, like, I don't want to mention other games, but you guys can probably relate to some games that you probably play by your own, and that is, you know, games that have created this environment in which the players are the ones that are using the tools given to them by the developers in order for them to create content. And you know, this might be mods or this might be something within the game, but I feel like this is a step in the right direction, because now that we can create maps, it's going to be a whole different BT6. So, you know, currently we have, I think it's like 69 maps that we have in BT6, maybe like 70 or something like that. But that number after update 39 is going to change to literally tens of thousands of maps, if not more, depends on how many maps you create. So the player's creativity is going to shine here, and we're not only going to be limited to what Ninja Kiwi and their developers and their artists can do, but it's going to be released to the entirety of the community. And I feel like that's actually a pretty amazing thing to do. I actually like this change a lot, because it's going to give this whole new aspect, and it's going to make our job a little bit easier as content creators, I'm going to be honest, because you guys can just keep submitting the maps that you have made, and it's probably going to be like probably the most fun content that we've done since bosses, I would say. So I'm really happy about the map area. And then a couple of things about it. Well, I think the maximum amount of tracks that you can add is going to be 5, and then the way that the balloons are going to come out is they're just going to be split into 5 different lanes. So there's no individual balloon sense that you can pick, at least not yet, I don't think. And then there are not going to be any challenges incorporated within the map area. So that means that, you know, the challenge area and the map editor are going to be separate, at least for now. I think that they want to merge those two together, but I'm not sure when and if it's going. I think that they do want to make it happen. I'm just not sure when it's going to happen, because I assume that's going to take a lot of work. But for now, we're just going to take the map area, and we can do a lot of things. I mean, just think of all the half cash and all the chimps menaces that people are going to create with these 5-lane tracks. We're going to start seeing extreme and probably borderline impossible tracks being created by people, and that's just gonna be so fun to play, and I'm really excited about that one. But yeah, I think that this update is going to turn BT6 upside down completely, and we're gonna see a whole different game. But what do you guys think about the new update? How do you feel about these new features in the Paragon system, about the rework? That's it for this one. Thanks for watching it, and I will see you all in the next one.